Sales.
Interesting.
Smartphone.
Very important.
Social media.
Okay.
Manu Kapoor.
Manu Kapoor.
Okay, that's
This one is
taking so much
complicated, man. This one
time.
is complicated. Complicated, yeah.
Okay. Manu Kapoor is the head of APAC Sales for Redis Corporation. It is an American company owned by Reliance Industries, an Indian company. And Manu Kapoor says this with great pride. His work demands that he travel frequently. In fact, 20 days out of a month, he would generally be traveling, and he has been to at least 36 different countries. A family man, he has now settled in Mumbai and loves it because of its lifestyle. Hello everyone, this is Nafisa from Simply Body Talk and I welcome you all to our series of Non-Verbal Champion. And today on our show, we have our esteemed guest, Mr. Manu Kapoor. Hello Mr. Manu, it's great having you on our show here.
Hello, Nafisa.
Hi.
Same here.
Being a sales specialist, how important do you think are people skills?
I think it is very, very important. It also depends on the kind of sales you are doing in your vertical. At least in terms, when I talk about telecom, it is important generally. So let me give you an example. Like in India, if I'm a salesperson and I have to reach out to the operators, it is not that I have 15 or 20 different operators to reach out to. I have 5 or 6 operators. I mean, we have Jio, Bharti, Vodafone, 4, 5. Yeah. The same situation is there in each and every country. So you need to have a long-term relationship with these operators in order to make sure that they trust you to use your solution in their network, because these are very critical networks. These are very critical elements for any operator, and not just for the operator, but this is something which comes under the regulatory purview of even from a government perspective. So people are very sensitive. They want to only want to do business with those who they trust. Now, in such a situation, you always have to make a long-term relationship with those guys. You need to be close to them. They need to trust you. They should be able to reach out to you. And for that, I think you need to have people skills are very important.
Okay. And I am aware that you do a lot of traveling. So what are the type of traveling which you usually do, and why it is so important for you to travel and meet people?
Okay. So yes, I am traveling almost 15 to 20 days a month. So
Okay.
so I do a lot of traveling. There are multiple reasons to it. My travel is mostly confined towards, if I have to categorize it, it is 80% in APAC, maybe 10% in Europe, and 10% to US. So that's how it is being distributed. But because it is my region, so I have to travel mostly in APAC. Now, why I have to travel? There are 2-3 reasons. One reason is because as I said in the initial part of our discussion, that it is very important because we are into a business where there are selected operators, and you want your customer to trust you. To trust you, you can't create a new relationship with an operator or with a person who is there, who is evaluating you, just on a phone call or just on a video call. So the way I always tell my team also about this is that on Zoom, on Teams, you can be connected. You cannot connect with a new person on a
you cannot make that connection with a new person, which can happen only through face-to-face discussion. So it is very important for me to be in front of my key stakeholders at least once a month. So even though if I don't have anything to do with them, even though I don't have an ongoing business with them, but I would like to have a coffee with them once in a month at least, so that at least they know we are there in top of their mind. If there is anything new which is coming up, they give us a call, and this creates I would say a long-term relationship there. That's the first part to it. The second part is my team is from different cultures. They are distributed in different regions. Some of them are in China, some of them are in Singapore, and I hardly get time. Since we are not physically present always, so this is also an opportunity for me to sit with them, have a casual dinner, and understand from them that what is going on, whether they are happy or not. If you are in a formal conversation, you cannot do that. You can ask a question, but he may not open up. So these kind of conversations help. And even when you are traveling together, there are a lot of, even if you don't want to disclose something, you keep on talking about something, and then there are things which come out and you come to know that what is going on. So traveling is very important for me, at least in my way.
Okay. Now in this rapid fire round, I'll be giving you the start of the statement and you have to end the statement. You won't get time to think. So once I finish my statement, you give me the second half of it.
Yeah.
Okay? We'll begin? Start?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
wish to go back to the normal life.
Okay. The first thought after I woke up.
Which is my next call.
I want to start.
My day with a coffee.
I have never been.
To Italy.
Time is.
Very important.
Traveling is. Okay.
Extremely important for my business.
Okay. Today has been.
Good.
Reading is.
Something which I would like to do.
I started the day.
I started my day again with a coffee.
I want to buy.
I want to buy. Okay. I think I have everything.
Oh wow. I went out.
Just for a drive.
My superpower is.
Okay. I don't have a superpower.
And family is.
Everything to me.
Okay. Great. Was it hard?
No, it was good.
No, right? Okay. Okay. So you do a lot of hiring. So how different is understanding someone when you meet them in person versus the era which is going on now where you are remote conferencing? How is it different?
Okay. You can do a hiring. I think it is easier to do a hiring remotely. It is not that difficult to do an hiring remotely, because now there are a lot of social media available in order to make sure that what are the credentials of the candidate which you are interviewing.
Okay.
It is very difficult these days to find somebody even in the third connection in LinkedIn. So if you try to find somebody, it will be either second connection or the first connection. So it is you can find the credentials, but it is more important that once that person is hired, he is feeling connected to you. So you can onboard a guy. It is not that difficult. But after onboarding, whether he is feeling the same kind of a belongingness to your company, which was there earlier during the times when there was no COVID. Because you had chance to do induction sessions with him, you had a chance to make sure that he get trained, he gets connected within the organization. Now with the new hiring which we do, and in fact I give you an example. We have hired one person in Mumbai recently. He is in Mumbai, he is in Navi Mumbai, but it is very difficult for me to make sure that he knows the entire organization. I have to make sure that I find a slot from somebody every time, 30-minute slot, and make him talk to this particular person, which is not that easy for a new guy who has come into a new organization after working for 10 years, 15 years, 5 years in a different company. So that belongingness is very difficult to achieve, and that's a challenge which we face today.
SimplyBoy provides coaching solutions to both sales teams and sales managers. Sales teams see improvement in their business conversion ratio by understanding with us on how they can communicate effectively with their clients, how can they understand their clients better and react based on what their clients are trying to signal. While with the sales manager, we unravel different techniques of how they can coach their own sales team using our in-house coaching models and improve their style of interactions with their clients. Okay. And how about clients? Like, does body language help you, to connect with them better, understand them better?
Yes, and that's in fact that's something which you miss in these days, because you can only see the upper part of the body, you can't see the lower part of the body, which is also very important, which is actually very important because he is composing himself in front of a camera. But when you are there in the room with a particular person and you are discussing a few things, you can even notice those small things that when so I give one example here. Suppose I am running a slide deck with him, with this particular customer, and there are 20 slides, and I'm talking about 3 different product lines. So different products I am talking about. Now in the first product, he is looking at the slide very carefully, whereas second he is on phone, and on third he might be again interested. He is again looking on the towards the camera. So I know that second I don't have to focus much, because he probably has something else in his mind. So these kind of things you can't find out in on a conversation on a camera, or a conversation on Zoom or on a phone.
Okay. And do you have some examples before this time when you really could achieve something just because you observe the person very carefully? Some kind of example like that?
So this is one example which I gave you is this one. I mean, this is a very generic thing which I think everybody does. That you try to figure out that the guy who you are presenting to, where he is giving his maximum attention. So that's one example. The other thing which may not be directly linked to what you are asking, but I would like to give an example here. So I went, I will not name the country, but it is one of the countries in Southeast Asia, and we went to this particular customer which was new. We were doing the interaction with this customer first time, and me and my colleague were there. We got a chance to meet one of very senior executives in those company, in one of those companies, and we met, we did the presentation, and we came out. Now we were thinking what is the next step going forward, but we saw different dynamics in that room. So there was a chief technology officer, there were people under him, there was a chief marketing officer in that room, and there were different kind of interest which they were showing on what we were presenting, and we saw some conflict within that room itself, those executives itself, that one was interested into one thing, second guy was interested into something else. we didn't know how to take it forward, because if we aligned with one of the executive, then the second executive might not be happy, and we were not able to make out that what we need to do. We were there for 2 days. This was our first day. So what we generally do in these kind of scenarios is we spend time in the lobby of that particular organization. So we go there and we sit there. So we look that which are the different companies coming in, which are the companies going out. We just do casual discussions there in the lobby itself. So, and there we came across with somebody who we knew from long back when he was in India. We went out for dinner with him. We went out for breakfast with him. We did a lot of casual conversations with him. And on that day, we came to know all the nitty-gritties within the organization. What are the dynamics of the organization? Who are these people? What they like, what they don't like, who are they aligned to in terms of their relationship with different vendors, which we would have never come to know if we would have been doing a conversation on Zoom, say for example. So these are the things which you can only gather when you are there on the ground. And otherwise I would have done 50 calls, Zoom calls with them, but still would have not materialized anything in terms of business. Yeah. So yeah. So these are the interesting things which happen in sales.
Okay, now something besides your professional life. Any interesting example which you would like to share when you're connecting with the locals while you're traveling internationally? This doesn't have to be professional, just where you're connecting with people there.
Okay, so I give one example of Japan, which I liked it. It is not professional, but I found it very interesting that they are as a culture, they are very they don't want to touch people. So the way we do it is we shake hands with so they don't shake hands. They are very I would say composed and professional in their approach. Always they don't get casual easily. It is very difficult to break and come into a casual conversation with those guys. And to an extent, it is not just that they bow when they when they greet each other. It is even during the time of in the restaurants also. So you see that kind of a thing. So when somebody serves you, even if you are there in a bar, in a very casual bar, you are there and they first serve you a wet towel so that you wipe your hand, you keep it there, and then you can have your beer. So even in a pub, I mean to say that. So so they are very clean in that sense. Even if somebody is serving you, he will make sure that he is wearing gloves. So even the cab drivers wear white gloves. They open your door. So it is very, I think I found that culture little different from a lot of our Asian countries.
So some words which you would like to share with our audience to inspire them.
I would say be safe first of all. It is very important to be safe. Though I have stressed a lot on traveling and on face-to-face conversations, but I think it is very important that at this point of time we all be safe till the time we have the right solution which is there for these times. But having said that, I think we should always have a small circle of people who we are in touch with. Within that particular confined circle, we should because it becomes a stress buster especially in these times. Yeah.
Okay. So that's it. Thank you so much for the interview, Mr. Manu. It was great knowing your insights and the fun games which we played, right? You're truly a non-verbal champion, like so much of knowledge about body language, non-verbal traveling. I was also intrigued during the whole interview listening to what is going to come next and all. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Nafisa. Thank you.
Yeah.